Alright, so after my Modern Warfare 2019 video, I decided to do a nice long live stream of Modern Warfare 2 2022. And honestly, I have a lot of things to say, so we're gonna start off with my initial comparison to Modern Warfare 2019. Right off the bat, Modern Warfare 2 reminded me that whenever I think about Modern Warfare 2019 being this sort of loose, floaty game where your character has a lot of weight and there's almost too much detail put into every animation, it makes the game slower, that's not Modern Warfare 2019. In my mind, somehow these got rearranged, but Modern Warfare 2 is the game that makes you incredibly heavy and makes all of your actions feel incredibly weighty and important. Is this a good thing? Mostly no, but it does look cool. But it's also so exaggeratory in terms of stats that you can make an MP7 take like 2 full seconds to aim down sight just by increasing the length of a barrel or adding a suppressor to it, so it's a bit silly. It unfortunately seems like a purposeful way to slow the game down for whatever reason versus it being something that realistically just makes sense. You see, I would have no problem with the game just being realistic. Like it or not, that wouldn't bother me. It's the fact that it's not really realistic to make something like an MP7 take forever to aim down sight just because you put the wrong barrel on it. But Modern Warfare 2 is like that. Modern Warfare 2 is fussy and does not give you detailed stats to even examine how fussy it's being. The wrong attachment can completely F your gun. And all of the animations and mantling and swimming just are very slow, and it honestly is kind of sad that this also extended a bit to Modern Warfare 3 and extended into Black Ops 6, to the point that Treyarch is clearly slowly trying to undo some of the damages of this version of the engine throughout the life cycle of Black Ops 6. We saw how bad the visual recoil was in Black Ops 6 when it launched compared to what they wanted it to be, and I believe that was a holdover from what Infinity Ward did with this engine when they released Modern Warfare 2. I think a lot of the weight and heft in this game just is unnecessary, and I still remember back in the day watching like Exclusive Ace do a loadout video and telling people maybe don't use every attachment slot, because more often than not, if you put all 5 attachments on, you're likely putting on an attachment that damages your gun's actual usefulness. And it's crazy, even thin red dot sights that in real life you could just hand to a baby somehow slow down your aim down sight time. And I do not subscribe to the idiotic belief that Infinity Ward just wants everybody to sit in corners. That is a low IQ take and I'm tired of hearing it. If they wanted that, they could do so many other things to make that possible, which they kind of do. We'll get to that in a second. But when it comes to like giving attachments these massive cons, I think they genuinely wanted you to overthink every weapon and make every customization session actually matter, which is proven by the fact that they added the most tedious thing ever to be added to Call of Duty's loadout customization, and that is tuning. Tuning fucking sucks. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, I like that I can move optics further up and down a rail or whatever so it can be further from my face or closer. I do like that. That should be in every shooter. But I'm sorry, no. If you really look at how that system works, you can pull a slider all the way down to like aim down sight speed, and you'll increase the speed a little bit. But if you keep sliding it down, somehow you'll reverse it and it'll go back to normal. The sliders are incredibly finicky, and because you're actually seemingly messing with the code of the game when you do it, it's tedious, it's weird. If you watch it, the sliders and how they interact with the graph doesn't make sense, and it's one of the weirdest implementations of anything I've ever seen in this series, honestly. You turn this all the way to aim down sight speed. And this. Oh, wait, sorry. Yeah, so all the way. Oh, that goes back into being bad somehow. Okay. And then I'll tune this all the way to aim down sight speed. And I'll tune this all the way to aim down sight speed. Wow. That's still sluggish as shit, and I hurt my other stats. I hurt my other stats, and it's still not that good at what I'm trying to make it do. Keep in mind, I have no problem with the concept of tuning. It's the fact that the way they implemented it here is so strange. If you own the game, load it back up and play around with it and notice where the graph moves and where the rank moves. Because it'll be like, oh, you're 3 notches red on mobility, and then you can change a stat and it'll go 2 notches, 1 notch, 2 notches again. And it's like, oh, how did I get back up to having worse mobility when I kept sliding in the direction of mobility? How does that work? How does that function? I hated it. But it tells me that Infinity Ward wanted everything to be important. This is a design philosophy they also had in Modern Warfare 2019 by wanting to launch the game without a minimap and having you focus more on a compass. I talked about this in my Modern Warfare 2019 video, and a lot of you disagree with me, but their minimap and compass system and the fact that the ghost perk just completely hides you off the minimap even if you're sitting in a corner is evidence that they do not want you to be focusing on your minimap. They want you to use the entire kit, the minimap, the compass, the sounds, the sights, the kill feed to pinpoint enemy locations. I think they want everything to feel important, which is why they tried to make everything feel important. Call of Duty is a fickle series where a lot of people just sort of treat it like wallpaper. They're so used to how Call of Duty feels to play that I feel like they take a lot of it for granted. And I firmly believe that Infinity Ward's main goal with MW 2019 and MW2 is to make COD players not take little things for granted, like inside of gunfights. Like having higher recoil means you have to work harder for kills. Having less situational awareness on your HUD means you have to pay more attention to get kills. This is the same philosophy that makes Milsim shooters like Squad or Insurgency so exciting to play, because you're watching every corner and every window, you're looking into every piece of cover, and I'm gonna say it, this game still plays like a fast twitch action shooter. It is not a slow-paced military simulation, but it does require you to pay more attention than other COD games do just by the inherent nature of its design. I don't think they wanted you to camp, I think they wanted you to pay attention, because that's the best way to make somebody engrossed in Call of Duty, and God, can you tell the difference? Well, at least some people can. I think so many people want to play a version of Call of Duty where they can just slap on Ghost and Ninja and a suppressor and run around freely and not be noticed and not be seen, and really only have to deal with reactionary gunfights. And I believe this actually leads to COD fatigue a lot sooner than people realize. While I think a lot of people are rightfully focusing on how bad post-launch content is or content variety is with modern COD, I don't think they've asked the question, why does COD get boring in the first place? And what I think Infinity Ward's been trying to do is solve that issue, so that you're not just going through the motions and having reactionary cowboy gunfights, having a detailed soundscape, having you pay more attention to the game, and taking less emphasis on like perks, more emphasis on your gear and your attachments that have massive pros and cons. Like Modern Warfare 2 has oogles of attachments and just tons of gear. Deployable decoys and spy cameras, ammo boxes, deployable cover, EMP drones, smoke drones. It feels like Infinity Ward wants you to interact with the game more, customize your weapon a little bit more detailed. They want you to worry more about being able to place a smoke drone versus having Ghost or not, which is why the perk system in Modern Warfare 2 is abysmal, because they don't want you focusing on your perks. But even having your perks on a timer in Modern Warfare 2, one of their worst decisions, kind of has an interesting effect where you, again, it's trying to keep you from going through the motions. Having Ghost equipped in Black Ops 6 is not exciting. You unlock Ghost, of course you want to have Ghost equipped, equip Ghost. But over here in Modern Warfare 2, when you hear Ghost is now active, you then start to play differently. Suddenly you feel like you can be more aggressive, and it reminds you that you have that perk equipped and you can go utilize it. Did they do that well? Is that a good system? No, I don't think so, but I can tell what they were going for. In fact, my big prediction, well, I won't share my big prediction for Modern Warfare 4. I was gonna share my big prediction for Modern Warfare 4 in this video, but I think I wanna revisit MW3 first, and then talk about in a separate video what I think Modern Warfare 4 is going to be like. But every part of this game feels like you're not supposed to take it for granted. No, you can't just laser people with an assault rifle without making your assault rifle so heavy. You have to think about every engagement before you get into it, which means you have to slow down and think. And I don't think they wanted you just to camp, because they also put in drill charges and EMP drones and a lot of other things that just fuck you up. If they wanted you to just camp, they would have made that easier to do, but actually they didn't. In fact, the mere introduction of the drill charge tells me that Infinity Ward wanted you to think about every wall your enemy is behind and how it could be utilized to, take them out of their spot. Every wall suddenly matters when you have a drill charge equipped, in the same way that hearing your Ghost perk is now active changes the way you play, in the same way that choosing attachments means you have to really weigh out the pros and cons, and the increased visual and actual just general recoil means you have to think about every engagement that happens past close range. It's kind of cool, it just isn't implemented very well. You see, Modern Warfare 2 2022 is to Modern Warfare 2019 what MW3 2011 was to Modern Warfare 2 2009. When Modern Warfare 3 came out, it was considered more of the same, a blander version of Modern Warfare 2. Yes, it had interesting perks, yes, it had interesting little gimmicks and new things we hadn't seen before. We had stuff like weapon perks. We had a little bit more fun to be had in Modern Warfare 3 in terms of the general stuff on offer. But the maps were a step back in terms of creativity, the general gameplay didn't innovate really all that much. Modern Warfare 2 felt like an innovative vibe, and the game before it was also like that with Black Ops 1. And Modern Warfare 3 somehow felt like more of the same. Modern Warfare 3 isn't a bad game by any means. I love the original Modern Warfare 3, but compared to Modern Warfare 2, it feels like a safer bet. It feels like they were kind of scared. After people got frustrated with certain aspects of Modern Warfare 2's gameplay, they just sort of simplified the maps and nerfed a lot of things that people were abusing. And while Modern Warfare 3 has its own BS that people ended up using a lot, it just is a safer game. Not bad, not really worse, just kind of sauceless and doesn't have the same impact as the game that came before it. MW2 is like a safer MW 2019. You see, behind the curtain of Call of Duty here, I can see that Infinity Ward wanted COD players to have a brand new experience and to tackle every engagement with a different, I don't know, different mindset than they've had before. Like, I can tell that Infinity Ward had major goals for this game, but it feels like publisher interference based on feedback of their previous title. You can see the stubbornness. You can see them including Dead Silence again as a field upgrade, but even worse because it has an activation sound. You have to actually pull out a big sack of something that dampens your footsteps. I don't know how that works. Is it game breaking? Is it impossible to play around? No, but you can tell they have their stubbornness there. You can tell that they didn't want minimap icons to just flash all the time with unsuppressed fire. They didn't want somebody to always have to use a suppressor, and they give the suppressors a ton of downsides. Like, you can see their stubbornness, you can see them there, but there's still this safe bet of these non-interactable, very boring cookie cutter maps. There are some really good ones in MW2, and maybe one of these days I will go over the reboot Modern Warfare maps and just sort of make a tier list of them and talk about my favorite ones and why they're my favorite ones, because I have a lot of opinions about the maps in these 3 titles. But it's like halfway through development, Modern Warfare 2 became a very safe bet. People complain about all like the sort of war-torn desert maps of previous games, so they went for more realistic locations, almost to the point where they got lawsuits, because I believe the museum map, the hotel map, and the raceway map are real locations, and the people that own those locations and own those businesses are kind of not happy that Infinity Ward was so willing to just, you know, depict lots of violence on them. But you know what's really weird going into this game? Is that it just felt like, and this is just a vibe, you guys can just disregard this part of the video, you could click away right after I say this and I wouldn't blame you, but it feels like, emotionally to me, playing this game, they were creating this version of Call of Duty that's more kinetic, more tactile, more thought out, more weighted, everything mattered a little bit more, and then something influenced them, something changed their mind, something changed the course of their development. And that extra little bit of polish, that extra little bit of lighting on the maps, or that extra little bit of ambience is just sort of not there. Gunshots are less scary. Just the soundscape in general, the color scheme of the maps, everything's sort of flat and a little bit quieter than Modern Warfare 2019. It's like that extra little bit of punch that the developers put into Modern Warfare 2019 was sort of sucked out at the last second. And I'm also gonna say, and this is just conjecture, again, feel free to ignore, I feel like every map in Modern Warfare 2 was supposed to be bigger and more complicated, more interesting. I think they wanted their maps to be perplexing and strange again, just like they were in Modern Warfare 2019. In some cases, I think it's a little bit exaggeratory, but more so than like Cold War, for instance. I think they wanted their maps to be more unique, but it's like they chopped off parts of the map to make it more condensed and small. So all of the variety you had when playing Modern Warfare 2019, when you played like Grozny Raid and Gunrunner and Azure Cave, is kind of gone here until the DLC maps came out, in which case I really think we saw some quality design choices. I think a lot of the DLC maps in Modern Warfare 2 are awesome and actually let them flex their creative muscles. But looking at the game at launch, I remember just feeling like this is not a bad game, but it is a flatter game. It doesn't feel as detailed because there isn't just that one like extra layer of love put into it. And it's like they got interrupted mid-development. And that sucks. I feel like because they were going with a DMZ style mode for its tertiary mode, they still had Spec Ops, they had this massive campaign, and they had their multiplayer, and I think they wanted something weighty. Oh, also Invasion and Ground War. And it's like they wanted something more meaningful. I think they saw the way the shooter genre is going, and God, is it going there, guys. Insurgency, Sandstorm, Hell Let Loose, Squad, Arma Reforger. It's kind of becoming a thing. Like, games like Ground Branch or Ready or Not are becoming household names. I have coworkers that know what Arma is now. And I feel like Call of Duty will fall by the wayside if it just becomes the go-through-the-motions Twitch shooter. And even though I don't agree with a lot of things Infinity Ward did, I firmly believe their goal is to make a more tactile, kinetic experience that isn't quite so go through the motions. But I imagine if they were making something really realistic and really detailed and really just mind-boggling, I feel like Activision might have stepped in and been like, whoa, you need to chill. You got rid of the mini-map and we almost lost half our player base. You know, Twitter was in outrage over the camping problem in Modern Warfare 2019. You gotta chill the fuck out. You need to simplify, smooth it over. So it's like there's this rough, gritty Milsim light under this like unnecessary layer of publisher interference that made the game a little bit more tame and a little bit more simple than it needed to be. And then to really like balance it out, the game got overwhelmed with really ugly, stupid cosmetics and death effects and tracer effects that just completely shat on the original tone of the game very quickly. But in all of this, what I was surprised about is that just the grounded on-foot 6v6 combat, when you're just, you know, holding down a location and shooting people and winning your gunfights and calling in streaks, you know what? It actually just kind of works. In some ways, it works a lot better than Black Ops 6 somehow. It's got this fast time to kill, but these high recoil guns, so I'm sort of tap firing and keeping my recoil down while I'm mowing people, and I'm calling in airstrikes and VTOLs. And even when I'm just sort of playing casually, I stumble into getting UAVs, and I kind of miss that from COD. Because I go to play Black Ops 6, and it's like I have to just start sweating my ass off to get that UAV-CUAV combo. And with all the movement mechanics in Black Ops 6, the simplicity of the map design in Black Ops 6, it doesn't really feel like there's a lot of room for me to experiment. And Modern Warfare 2 kind of has that. Like, if I'm comparing Modern Warfare 2 to Black Ops 6, Modern Warfare 2 is the more detailed, interesting game in a lot of ways, even if it doesn't control quite as well and is a little less balanced. And it delivers that arcade COD experience of I'm shooting people with my M4 and then they die and then I call on a UAV and I start shooting more of them, and it has that has that down. I'm in my military-themed Call of Duty game and I'm shooting people and I'm getting streaks, and it's just, I don't know how to explain it. If you know, you know. I have no idea how to explain this to somebody that's not going to understand what I'm talking about. But it's there, and I think it's more there than it is in Black Ops 6 to a large degree, because it's just more grounded what you like about COD gameplay. But that's comparing it to Black Ops 6. Comparing it to Modern Warfare 2019, it feels like the soul got sucked out of the dev team halfway through. I think I would have loved to have seen what Modern Warfare 2 was going to be like before Activision stepped in. Imagine if you're making the most immersive, detailed, gritty Call of Duty ever, and Activision steps in and says, nah, we need to reclaim sort of the you know, esports audience. We need to reclaim a little bit more of the arcade audience. We really can't focus on like the military, you know, chuds, you know, the Gravy Seal types. We can't, no. And then also the sequel to your big campaign, you better have that done quickly, because next year is the sequel to the game you're working on now. Toodles! And I think it just completely fucked them over. There are other things I was going to talk about, like spawns or whatever, but you don't want to hear about the spawns of like a 3-year-old COD game. We want to talk about what the hell happened? What was the vision here? And I believe this is going to segue perfectly into my Modern Warfare 3 retrospective, and then segue perfectly into my Modern Warfare 4 prediction. So long story short, Modern Warfare 2 isn't a bad game. It's just a game that I think got cut off at the knees halfway through its development life cycle, and that's kind of sad. Will we ever know exactly what happened? Maybe, I hope so. But let me know what you think down below. Did you like Modern Warfare 2? Was it your favorite COD game, least favorite COD game? I would love to hear about it, so please tell me down in that comment section below, and I will see you when I see you guys. Goodbye. Oh!
Victory secure, good fighting.
Oh, that got a little too close. Whew.
That was good.
I kind of locked in there. Did I not kind of lock in there, guys? Like, come on. Like, well, cool. Come on.
That VTOL saved your ass.
Oh, yeah, it did. Oh, yeah.